I invite the next participating delegation, Indonesia, to address the court, and I call Her Excellency Ms. Retno Marsudi to the podium.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mr. President, distinguished members of the court, I left my G20 meeting in Rio de Janeiro to stand before you today on behalf of the government of the Republic of Indonesia to express the solidarity of the Indonesian people on a matter of supreme and grave importance, a matter that strikes at our fragile humanity. I stand before you today to defend justice against the blatant violation of international law that has been committed by Israel. We have all witnessed the ongoing humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza and the following escalation throughout the region, which have emboldened a global call to address the root cause, the illegal Israeli occupation on Palestine. Israel's unlawful occupation and its atrocities must stop, and neither should it be normalized nor recognized. Mr. President, members of the court, it is clear that Israel has zero intention to respect, let alone abide by, its international legal obligation. The Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu even said, and I quote, "Nobody will stop us, not The Hague, not anybody else," unquote. This is also evident in Israel's action in Gaza, as it is continuing its indiscriminative campaign of annihilation against civilians in Gaza. Apparently, the death of almost 30,000 lives is not enough for Israel, as it is close to launch another strike on Rafah, once the only gateway for life-saving humanitarian assistance to Gaza. No state should be granted a free rein to do anything they want against weaker state. This is why we have international law. This is why we need to uphold it. The role of ICJ is central to safeguard what the so-called rule-based international order. There is a big hope from the international community. I repeat, a big hope that ICJ delivers a favorable advisory opinion to the interests of justice and humanity. Mr. President, members of the court, the hope is on this court. Against this backdrop, we all assume a collective moral duty to furnish information on the question submitted to the court. Mr. President, members of the court, my statement today will be divided into two parts. First, on jurisdiction, and second, on the merit of the case. First part, on jurisdiction. Indonesia maintains that the court has jurisdiction to render the advisory opinion, and there is no ground to declining to exercise such jurisdiction. This has been clearly elaborated in Indonesia written statement and written comment. Now I will focus on rebuffing the argument of some states, suggesting that rendering an advisory opinion would somehow undermine the peace process. While the court has made their opinion clear on this matter, allow me to further stress three arguments. First, there is no viable peace process to be undermined. Israel has been consistently obstructing a negotiated two-state solution. This is in line with international law and relevant United Nations resolution. Israel has even been circumventing negotiation through numerous strategic pretexts. With such strong resistance from Israel to stop its colonial project and its fait accompli unilateral action, no peace process will validly bring a just, lasting, and comprehensive solution. After all, negotiation with someone holding a gun against your head is not a negotiation at all. Despite this rhetoric on peace, successive government of Israel has openly expressed their abandonment of the peace process, including by declaring the Oslo Accord null and void. Just last November, Prime Minister Netanyahu even boasted that, and I quote, "I'm proud that I prevented the establishment of Palestinian state," unquote. It is no wonder that Israeli officials of all levels have been openly ignoring the calls from the UN Security Council to settle this issue peacefully and abide by its international obligation. Along with these attitudes, Israel only has been pursuing a one-sided solution without engaging Palestinians, let alone addressing their interests. Indonesia submits that this confirming Israel has never been interested in any peace process. Second, the request for advisory opinion is not intended to decide on a final solution to the conflict. A comprehensive, just, and lasting solution should only be achieved through direct negotiation between the parties to the conflict, not one imposed from outside or by one party. Rather, the request is intended to seek the court opinion on legal questions asked by the UN General Assembly within its competence. The court should only render its opinion on the legal consequences arising from the ongoing violation by Israel and how they should affect the legal status of the occupation. The question should be understood as a request for advice to facilitate the General Assembly in devising necessary action within its function. Third, the court opinion will positively contribute to the peace process by presenting additional elements of the law for a comprehensive resolution of the dispute. A genuine and lasting peace process can only be achieved if it is consistent with the international law. Thus, the court opinion is very much needed. By clarifying the relevant legal rules, the court opinion will help in resolving the stalemate that have impeded the peace process. In addition to this positive impact, the court's opinion would be useful to guide the future step to be taken by the United Nations and all states. Thus, Indonesia submits that there are no grounds to dismiss this request on the basis that it will risk fundamentally delegitimizing any future prospect of peace process. Mr. President, members of the court, my second part is on the merit of the case. Indonesia has made clear its legal argument on the question posed to the court as appeared in our written statement. I will begin with the continued denial of inalienable right of